Hello, everyone. In today's session, we will be discussing the end-of-service process in workforce management within the Onfinity system. Let's begin with an overview of the end-of-service use case. An employee decides to resign from their current position to explore better career opportunities. The employee submits a resignation request. The details are then updated in the system to reflect the employee's resignation and end date, after which HR reviews the resignation information. Next, let's go through the steps involved in the end-of-service process. To start the process, log in through ESS and navigate to the resignation screen. Create a new record. Enter the details of the resignation. Save and submit the record. The request will be routed to the approving authority. If approved, HR will open the End-of-Service tab. The details will be updated in the End-of-Service tab and other relevant sections of the system. If the request is rejected, the employee must restart the process and resubmit the resignation. Next, we move on to the prerequisites for the end of service. The following screens should be predefined. Employee personal information. Employee work information. Grade. Position master. Use case execution of end of service. The employee logs into the system through the ESS portal to submit their resignation request. Once submitted, the request is routed to the approving authority for review. Upon approval, the system is updated to reflect the employee's resignation and end date, and the HR admin reviews the resignation details. Now, let's take a look at how this works in the Onfinity system. This is the login page of the Onfinity system. To proceed, we'll enter our login credentials. I'm logging in with an employee role, so I'll enter the username and password. Once done, click on the Login button. This is the home page where the employee logs in and the charts and widgets are available. Currently, no data is displayed in the notification widget because the employee has not received any notifications yet. Once the employee receives a notification, it will be displayed here. Now, the employee will submit their resignation details through the employee self-service. To do this, navigate to the employee self-service. Click on the resignation request icon. On the first tab, the employee can view their personal and work information details, which are displayed in read-only format. Now, to enter the resignation details, navigate to the Resignation Information tab. A new record will open automatically. The notified date will appear as the current system date by default, but it can be changed if needed. The notice period and notice duration will populate automatically based on the selected employee's grade and position from the employee work information. The projected date will be calculated automatically based on the notice period and duration from the notified date. The requested date of release will appear the same as the projected date by default, but it can be modified if required. However, it cannot be earlier than the current system date. If entered earlier, the system will display an error message stating that the date of release, or actual date, cannot be earlier than the current date. Now, I am re-entering the date of release as 30th January 2026. Separation type will be resignation. The resignation status will remain as draft until the record is submitted. Enter the separation reason comments. For example, I am adding, due to new opportunities and career growth. After entering all the details, click on the Save button to save the record, and then click on the Submit button. Here, we can see that the record has been successfully submitted for HR admin approval. The resignation status has been updated to requested, and the Submit button is now hidden. After submitting the record, we will log in as an HR admin to review this request. Next, we will log in as an admin to view these details on the admin screen. Enter the username and password for the admin. Click on the Login button. This is the home page where some of the charts and widgets are available. Here, we have a workflow widget that shows we have received an employee's resignation request, along with the employee's name and other resignation details. There is also a Zoom button. Clicking on it will redirect you to the specific screen for this request. So, click on it. You can see that it redirects us to the End of Service tab under Employee Personal Information screen for the employee Geeta Sani, where all related details are displayed. If you want to make any changes to this record, you can do so here. For example, I am changing the actual date to 27th February 2026, and then clicking on the Save button. After making the changes, let's move back to the home page. To review this request, click on it. In the Answer section, we can choose whether to accept or reject the request. After reviewing the request, I want to accept it. I will select Yes and click OK. The request has now been successfully accepted. These updates will be reflected on both the admin and employee screens. First, we will go to the employee screen to check the updated details. Now, we have logged in again as an employee. Navigate to the notification widget. Here, we can see that a new notification has been received. Click on More to view the notification. Here, we can see that the resignation request has been approved by the authority. Next, we go to the resignation information screen, which is already open. Here, we can see that the record is now read-only. The resignation status has been updated from requested to accepted, and the requested date of release has been updated with the change date from the admin side, accurately reflecting the revised details. Since the employee details have been updated, we will now check the admin screen as well. To do this, let's go back to the admin screen. To access the admin screen, go to the menu. Open the HR Management folder, select Workforce Management, and click on Employee Personal Information screen. Go to the screen. Select the employee for whom the resignation details were entered. Open the End of Service tab. Here, the details have already been updated on the HR Admin's End of Service tab, and the status is shown as accepted. These details are also automatically reflected in other relevant sections of the system. To verify the updates, click the Home button. Here, you can see that the employment end date has been updated. These details are also reflected on the Employee Work Information screen. To view them, navigate to Workforce Management and click on the Employee Work Information screen. Go to the screen. Select the employee. Navigate to the Employee Work Information tab. The end date is updated here as well. Please note that on the last day of the notice period, the end date, the assignment status, will automatically update based on the separation type defined in the End of Service tab. Since the details have been updated in the Employee Work Information screen, we can now check the versioning details to confirm the updates there. To check the versioning details, open the Action panel, click on the Zoom Across button, and select the screen. Here, you can see that the end date has been updated, while the other fields remain unchanged in the latest version. If needed, you can also view previous versions to review the historical records. Returning to the Employee Personal Information screen, the charts and widgets have now been updated based on the new record. To check that, go to the landing page of the Employee Personal Information screen to view the End of Service widget. This widget displays the record for Geeta Sani, showing the end date, the percentage of days completed, and the remaining notice period. This demonstrates the process of how an employee submits a resignation and how HR receives the related details. Next, we'll look at how the admin can directly enter details for an employee, whether it's a termination, resignation, or any other separation case. To begin, go to the screen and select the employee for whom you want to enter the details. I am selecting the employee Siddharth Sharma. Click to the End of Service tab. The system will automatically open a new record. The employee's joining date is populated automatically from the Header tab. The notified date appears as the current system date by default, but can be modified if needed. The notice period and notice duration are automatically populated based on the selected employee's grade and position from the Employee Work Information screen. The projected date is calculated automatically based on the notice period and notice duration from the notified date. The actual date defaults to the projected date, but can be changed if required. However, it cannot be earlier than the current system date. Otherwise, the system will display an error. Now, I am changing the actual date for this employee to 12th of January 2026. Next, select the separation accepted by name. Here, I am selecting Nihal Gupta. Enter the separation accepted date. I am entering 6th of January 2026. The separation type defaults to resignation. However, it can be changed to resignation, retirement, or termination. In this case, I am selecting termination. The resignation status will remain draft until the record is submitted. Enter the separation reason comments, for example, due to violation of company policies. After entering all the details, click on Save button to save the record, then click Submit and confirm by clicking OK. Once submitted, the resignation status is automatically updated to accepted due to auto-approval, and the record becomes read-only. These details are also updated on the employee personal and work information screens. Since auto-approval is there, the resignation is accepted immediately. If required, workflows can be configured here based on business requirements. Now, let's see how to generate a report for these employees. You can either go to the landing page of the employee personal information screen and click on the Ceased Employment Report, or navigate to Workforce Management, then to the Report section, and select Ceased Employment Report. Choose the report type, whether CSV, PDF, or RTF. If no report type is selected, the report will default to PDF. In this case, no report type has been selected. The organization will automatically populate based on the user profile, but you can change it to view data for a specific organization, or leave it blank to see data for all organizations. In this example, Sonic Ventures is selected. Next, select the specific employees from Employee Information. You can select multiple employees at once to generate their report. In this case, I will not select any employees and will click Cancel to view data for all employees. This is the Clear button, which resets the data in this column. Next, select the action type if you want the report for specific actions, such as resignation, retirement, or termination. You can leave this blank to include all actions. Enter the date range for the report, for example, 1st January 2026 to 31st January 2026. After entering all the details, click OK. Zoom in to view the report clearly. In this case, 4 records are displayed along with all their details. This is how you can generate a report of ceased employment. To download the report, simply click on the Download button. That concludes the session on the end of service process in the Onfinity system. Thank you for attending.